So we're here at Closing the Gap, but what's your actual view on the education gap?
I think the education gap of achievement is one of the most worrying things for this country, and it hasn't changed for many, many years. And what we feel, certainly at FILMCLUB, is that the arts and film can actually play a part in closing that gap and helping students, pupils, to learn better.
So how important do you think Film Club is to underprivileged children?
I think FILMCLUB is very important, not just to underprivileged children, but to all children who are members of the Film Club. I think the particular reason why we're keen that disadvantaged, underprivileged children become members of Film Club is we think film can give you a window of opportunity, give you experiences that you may not get in life in any other way, and that therefore it helps bridge the gap between kids who are very lucky and come from privileged families and gets all sorts of experience, whether it's holidays abroad or whatever, and kids who actually don't get any of that. So we think film can play a real part in redressing that balance.
Okay. What films would you maybe sort of suggest to people who are in Film Club?
Well, I'm afraid I'm getting a bit boring about this. I always suggest that people should watch Kes because it was a film that changed my life, really. I mean, I think I saw Kes, which is a film about a young lad with a kestrel, and I saw it very early on in my career. And if you look at Kes, every time that young lad has any contact with public services, schools, local authorities, libraries, they treat him badly. And because I worked in the public services, I didn't want to be associated with that kind of thing. So it really made me stop and think about the people you're dealing with when you work for a local authority or a government department or whatever, and how you should treat them, and what an impact you can have on them. So I think film can change people's lives. Films also can be hugely enjoyable. I don't always watch films because I want to have my life changed. I love Four Weddings and a Funeral, and I love Love Actually, which I'm ashamed to admit, really, but I think it's fantastic. So, it depends what mood you're in, doesn't it? Sometimes you want to go and be entertained. Sometimes you're in the mood to think a bit more seriously about what you're seeing. And the good thing about Film Club is that young people are exactly the same as me. Some days they want to sit down and be entertained, and some days they're prepared to sit down and really see something which is quite demanding.
So do you think that children who come from a more deprived background are able to think and understand films just as much as people who come from a middle-class background?
Well, of course I do, because that's the kind of background I came from. And I think very often people are held back by home circumstances, but also by the aspirations people set for them. In other words, people didn't really tell me early on in my life that I could go to university, that I could do this, I could do that. But a lot of people from more privileged backgrounds were getting those messages. That's what they were being told. So what you aspire to can be much lower if you come from a working class background, if you come from a deprived family. And I think what education's about and what film is about is trying to kind of rebalance that, as I say, and try and say to children, you can do anything. You can do anything. You need a bit of luck sometimes, but don't listen to people who tell you what you can't do. Listen to the people who tell you what you can do and help you to do it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.